Maybe. Connecting. Welcome back to What the Football?
What the football?
What the Football?
And there it is.
I'm your host, Caleb Gregler, along with
Your co-host, Tadhg Morosky.
And this is a little show we like to call What the Football. We are back here on Wednesday, September 15th. Really fun week one. I know we talked about a lot of it on Wednesday or Monday, excuse me. But it ended with a crazy Monday night game that literally, what did I watch on Monday night? Can you tell me?
Exactly. I really couldn't, Caleb.
Okay, because I don't know what happened genuinely. The Raiders started off 1-0. The AFC West and the NFC West are the only two teams that are the only two divisions that are 4-0 right now. I have everything pulled up. So the Raiders did beat the Ravens 33-27 in OT. Let me see here. Just pulling up the stats. Derek Carr looked okay. I'm not going to say he looked great. He did throw the ball 56 times. And when I watched of this game, it looked like Darren Waller had about 80 targets. Literally in that first quarter, there was a point where Darren Waller was targeted 8 times and only had 1 catch.
That is not ideal.
No, Derek Carr literally, I don't think he wanted to throw to anybody else, but as the game went on, he was like, okay, I might need to just in case, or just to like actually win this football game. And they ended up winning this football game.
Henry Ruggs had no catches until the final drive.
Yeah. First of all, Marlon Humphrey decided not to play defense for that final play. I don't know what the game plan was there. I mean, literally, Zay Jones ran, I don't know, a post route, like a maybe it was like a deep slant kind of route. But Marlon Humphrey just like stopped covering him. Like he got burnt, but then like the ball was up in the air for so long, he probably could have made a play on it. If
it was really weird.
It was just a dumb set of circumstances, and the Raiders ended up winning one of the weirdest football games I've ever seen, honestly. Anyway, I don't like talking about the Raiders very, very much, as you longtime listeners will know. So just making sure we're live. We are live. Thank you to our 2 listeners, which are probably me and T.
Oh, they are 100% me and you.
Shout out to all the people watching on YouTube then. Hi, how are you doing?
Love you guys.
Welcome back. Monday's game. It is what it is. The Ravens looked a little bit worse than I thought they were going to. I mean, we all thought the Ravens were going to win this game. But they are missing a lot of their players. And Marcus Peters, and then 3 of their running backs, just to boot, or just to name a few here. So we'll head into week 2, starting tomorrow with the Giants taking on Washington, an NFC least matchup. Should be a good game. Probably not. Washington should win this one.
I mean, here's the thing. You have Washington's front 7 against the Giants offensive line.
Every player will be Chandler Jones from this past week.
Yeah, this could get really out of hand. They honestly, excuse me,
bless you, and bless you.
Excuse me again. They could easily, like, I'm not kidding. They could have 20 sacks in this game, and I genuinely would not be shocked. Like, that's how bad the offensive line is of the Giants.
The Giants O-line is like bottom 3. That Washington front is possibly top 3 in the league.
Possibly top 1.
Yeah. Anyway, enough about week 1. Enough about the NFC least. Let's move on to our players of the week. As you know, longtime listeners, as longtime listeners know, I should say, we did a offensive player and defense player of the week. This time, we're going to do an offensive defense player of the week from each conference.
Expand it a little bit.
Just to give more players a shout out here.
The robe has made a return, everybody, as you can see.
The robe's iconic. I'm not gonna. I mean, the robe is just absolutely iconic. No way around it. Tadhg, AFC Offensive Player of the Week. Who do you have?
This one was, I mean, pretty easy for me, honestly.
Okay.
this guy was an absolute stud, really stood out amongst the rest. You could have picked his quarterback, but I didn't.
I probably did.
Tyreek Hill had 10 catches, almost 200 yards receiving and a touchdown. He just honestly, he just looks better than everyone else on the field when he's playing. He's always open, no matter what. He's just always open.
Yeah.
And it's something to watch when you just see this man make other grown men look so slow. Like, he's the fastest player I've ever seen with my own two eyes. That's including like Chris Johnson. Like, he's just genuinely, eye test, he's the fastest guy I've ever seen play football.
Yeah. I mean, there's no doubt about it. He's probably the fastest dude in the NFL. Almost, actually, he is the fastest dude in the NFL.
Yeah, I don't know who even is close, to be honest.
No, there isn't a person that is close to him. And as far as his speed, Tyreek Hill is the fastest dude on the field. And that, I mean, when you have a guy like Patrick Mahomes who's got such a cannon of an arm, it complements both of their play styles so well.
Oh yeah.
And I did pick Patrick Mahomes as my AFC Offensive Player of the Week.
That's fair.
I mean, he looked good. He looked like he was in midseason form. A couple shocking balls here and there, but again, you're going to see that with every quarterback every game. So Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, good on you. Way to get a comeback win over the Browns week 1.
Yeah, I mean, Mahomes, 4 touchdowns, no turnovers, over 300 passing yards. Like, he was on fire.
Yeah. All right. Tadhg, who is your AFC Defensive Player of the Week?
Now, this was a lot less clear than the NFC Defensive Player of the Week.
Agreed.
I went for one moment. This defensive player won his team the game.
Okay.
Big shout out to Carl Nassib. Congratulations to him on being the first openly gay player playing in the NFL. That's awesome. But how about shout out to him for literally winning the Raiders the game by forcing a fumble on Lamar Jackson in overtime. I mean, absolutely. That's the reason they won the game. I actually don't have his stats pulled up, to be honest.
Okay.
But I don't know what they are. I just know one of the stats is a forced fumble. And that stood out to me amongst all the other AFC defensive players this week.
Fair enough. Yeah, again, good for Carl Nassib becoming one of the first openly gay players in the NFL. Definitely a difficult thing to deal with when you're in like the manliest sport in the world. And good on him. He is playing for the Raiders. So I don't want to congratulate him on that. I will congratulate him on being one of the first openly gay players in the NFL, though. I did not give this to Carl Nassib because I'm not going to give this to a Raiders player.
That's just
instead. I'll stay in the division though. I'll go Von Miller. I had 2 sacks against that Giants offensive line. I mean, Von Miller
looked that's even
good,
saying anything.
Looked really good in that Giants offensive line. Just because I kind of picked this because we were kind of saying, okay, this Broncos front, and that's why I picked them to win the game, was that this Broncos front is going to eat the Giants offensive line so easily.
Dude, there was a picture that went viral that was like the 2021 New York Giants, everybody, and it showed 3 Broncos players about to tackle Daniel Jones and the Giants offensive lineman blocking another Giants.
Oh, I saw that. That's
like, just that's literally insane.
I love how Giants fans, at least the one that we know, Micah, I don't even know if you can call I'm going to call him a Giants fan. But he was like, we're going to be nice this year. Like, but here's the thing. You can get Kenny Golladay. You can have Saquon back from injury. It doesn't matter when your offensive line sucks that bad.
Yeah, you can only be so nice with, like, you have solid skill players, but I mean, Saquon Barkley couldn't do anything.
No.
And it's like, it was bad to watch. Yeah. So Giants need to figure that out before I'm going to pick them to win any game, pretty much.
Definitely. NFC Offensive Player of the Week. I picked a guy that might not need these anymore. he got laser eye surgery in the offseason, and boy, has it seemed to help. The man, the myth, the famous Jameis Winston,
Okay.
148 yards, 5 touchdowns.
Yeah. I mean, sure, why not?
Like, I mean, you could have gone with a guy like Kyler here, who also had 5 total touchdowns and a lot more yards. I can tell you that much. But
yeah.
I just want to give credit where credit is due. Good for Jameis Winston, not
I mean, that's
throwing, not
awesome.
turning the ball over, and 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, if he does that every game for the rest of the season, he'll probably have the greatest season of all time.
What it like?
Can you imagine that?
You're gonna pay us for what? 12 at 18 times 5, like 85
85
touchdown or 90 touchdowns.
Well, it's 17
17.
times 5.
So yeah, 85 touchdowns.
That would be and then not even 3,000 yards, but I don't think it matters at that point if you throw 85 touchdowns.
Imagine if a player threw for under 3,000 yards and 85 touchdowns.
I mean,
He's on pace to do it.
I don't know. I really don't know. That's a good pick. Kyler is not my pick though.
Oh,
I have another guy. I picked a guy. So Kyler had the interception in there. And Tennessee's defense, is trash.
Yeah.
Which we all knew. So we should have expected Kyler to do very well. I went with a guy who played a really good defense, but looked essentially perfect, about as perfect as you can get. A 152.3 passer rating, so pretty close to perfect. 78% completion, 254 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks. Russell Wilson playing the Colts defense, which is kind of gave him the edge. That's like, what's looked at as a very good defense. And he looked on point. He was looking like he does in the first few weeks every year. But while he's playing well, you got to give him his week 1, his breakout player awards.
Fair enough.
Boy, oh boy, do we know that they will not be there. They will not be in there in the second half of the season.
Well said. NFC Defensive Player of the Week. And this is just about, I hope you have this player, because if you have any other player, you're wrong.
Chandler Jones. He had the same amount of sacks that Jameis had touchdowns. So he could have 85 sacks this season.
He's on pace to do, what's the record? Like 20, what is it?
22?
22?
Yeah. It's something like that.
So somewhere around 21 to 23. He had 5 in one game.
Which is unreal.
He's a quarter of the way there.
Dude, that's why I said it was a big thing for JJ Watt, because I don't know how many times I said it in that prediction episode, but like the fact you can't focus on one of them. Like you have to you can't double one. They're going to be on either side. One of them's going to pop off.
Taylor Lewan got absolutely exposed.
Yeah, that was actually bad.
It was not great. All right. AFC and NFC offensive defense players done.
Sadly, none of our predictions were correct for that. I predicted CMC and Chase Young. Chase Young got locked up by Rashawn Slater.
Chase Young had to switch sides because Rashawn Slater was locking him up so much.
AFC, I had Josh Allen, which that boy, oh boy, was not a good pick, and Xavier Howard.
Yeah, I had Trey White on my AFC defense. He had a pick. I mean, I think he had a pass deflection. That's what he had a pick that he dropped. So that's good. NFC offensive, I had CMC.
I think it's Sam Darnold.
Sorry. And then NFC defense, I had Harrison Smith. So,
yeah.
It didn't really work out.
That one was not it.
The Sam Darnold shot was decent.
It was all right. I had CMC who almost had 100 yards receiving and rushing.
Yeah.
So
shock.
Yeah, I mean, you could pick him every week and you're gonna be almost right.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna do a little bit something different here. This is a very abridged team of the week here, where we go. Here's how I had it done. I
did 2 receivers,
a running back, 2 receivers, a tight end.
That's what I did.
Perfect. I'll go first here. Kyler was my quarterback.
Hey, Theo. Kyler's your quarterback?
Yep. I mean, 5 total touchdowns. Absolutely lit up the Tennessee defense. I mean, he looked. I didn't think he was going to look as good as he did, even against a defense like
A
Tennessee's.
defense.
A defense like Tennessee's. He looked perfect, and
I mean,
he
yeah.
looked good, and hopefully he can continue that all the way throughout the
Wait,
season.
this accent does not have to continue, but like I always am so high on Kyler,
I
so I
know.
did expect this from him. But I went with Russell Wilson. I don't know if that's we should probably decide, are we able to use the same players for our breakout player? I guess we have to be able to.
Yeah.
So if we have a quarterback, pretty likely that guy's gonna be making
Yeah.
the team of the week. It's funny because
same with every other
you had
position.
Mahomes and Jameis Winston as your 2 offensive players of the week, and neither of them are your quarterback of the week.
That's correct. I wanted to spread the love around.
Okay.
Running back, I had CMC.
Okay. I had Joe Mixon.
Yeah, that's the other one that I would have picked.
I just wanted to give him a shout because I'm sure CMC is going to be on this list. I don't know if Joe Mixon is.
He won't.
So I wanted to give him. I mean, he had almost 130 yards, a touchdown on the ground. Like he was looking very good.
You look good.
He was part of the reason they won that game against the Vikings. They established a run game, which opened up the passing game for Joe Burrow.
Yeah. Good on Joe Mixon. Almost quieting the haters a little bit in week one. My wide receiver 1, Amari Cooper.
My wide receiver 1's Tyreek Hill. Just the pure 198 yards and 10 catches is just like you don't see that too often.
No.
And
you almost expect it from Tyreek though, don't you? At this point.
Yeah, I mean he's not top 5 though. So he's 5th behind Keenan Allen at 4. I mean he's unreal. He's my wide receiver 1. Amari's my wide receiver 2, obviously.
Tyreek's my wide receiver 2.
Yeah. And then Gronk is the tight end of the week. That's just
wow. Yeah, pretty similar. I mean, we had the exact same pass catchers.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't have anyone else. Like Gronk literally just outperformed every tight end at every stat.
I almost picked Kelsey just because he had 2 touchdowns and 70 yards or so. But Gronk, I think also
Gronk had 2 touchdowns and 80 yards and more receptions. Like that's why I had Kelsey too. Then I went to check and I was like, well, Gronk beats him in every stat. So there's literally no reason to put Kelsey.
Yeah.
Amari and Tyreek were just kind of the best far and away.
All right. Well, this is my favorite part of the pod every Wednesday. We got our top 10 power rankings, our version of Herd's hierarchy. Shout out Colin Coward.
Shout out to Colin Coward.
I don't know a person who watches this show as much as Teague does. So Colin, if
isn't, I literally watch it every day.
Colin, I'd love to have you on the show sometime. I hope you have your 2 honorable mentions. I forgot to mention that last night.
Oh, I do. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right, we'll start out with honorable mention.
Wish we had more.
Yeah, but here's the thing: you got to pick 12. That's the fun of this. Honorable mention number 2, I guess. We'll go 12, 11.
Okay.
Who's your honorable mention 2?
Denver Broncos.
Wow.
They surprised me. They surprised me a lot. Their offense surprised me so much. I have it pulled up. They were 24th in my power rankings. And even if they aren't one of the 12 best teams, which they probably aren't, but I felt out of respect for how much I disrespected them. I should mention them at least today. Because here's the thing, week 1, this list could change drastically week 2. I wanted to make sure I said Denver surprised me. Their offense looked really good and their defense looked great.
Yeah.
And that combination, they looked better than a lot of the teams in the NFL this past weekend. And they opened my eyes. I mean, Teddy Bridgewater did very well. And their run game, I think they averaged as a unit, 8 yards a carry.
Which is ridiculous.
Their receiving core, it just went down with one of them. But, they played very well. And I just felt like I disrespected them and wanted to give them some due respect.
Fair enough. I have the Ravens here. Just because, I mean, here's the thing. The Ravens are a good football team.
Yeah.
I don't think that happens again. Where they lose just a weird. I mean, Lamar very well could fumble twice in a game again. It wouldn't surprise me, but again, it's not going to happen every game.
Yeah.
I think the Ravens, they're a good team who they manage clock well. And once they get a lead, it's hard to get it back on them. The Raiders just did a fantastic job. Derek Carr did a fantastic job. It helps when you target Darren Waller about 40 times a game, but credit where credit is due.
I probably would too.
But I think the Ravens will get back on track here in week 2 and beyond.
Who's your other honorable mention?
I had to. There's a little team in LA called the Chargers.
I also have the Chargers here at my second honorable mention.
Gotta love
but here's the thing. They were 12th on my list.
Yeah.
In the power rankings. So it's not like they moved anywhere crazy. They looked about as good as I thought. Their defense, I want to see a little bit more consistency from.
I do too.
And Herbert, while he looked great and made some great throws, still made a couple throws where you're like, okay, come on, you got to know. Sometimes you throw it away. Yep. Sometimes you hold on to it. Like you got to, there's just like some of those rookie moments where you can see, but I mean, he's insanely talented. So
yeah,
I don't worry about him making those throws like in the future. He's going to learn how to do it. He's just still kind of making them, you know. So yeah, the Chargers look really good. Almost a top 10 team, and they might move into it. Who knows after week 2 or 3?
Who knows? With the Cowboys, week 2 here. And I liked how we handled that defensive front of Washington's. Yeah. I mean, we made them almost a non-factor. Rashawn Slater in his first football game since 2019 made Chase Young a non-factor. And that's, I mean, I had relatively high expectations for Rashawn. I figured Chase would get a couple hurries or a quarterback hit, maybe even a sack. But Rashawn didn't allow a sack, a hit.
He didn't allow a stat,
a pressure, a hurry, anything. Good for him. Love to see the rookies doing well. As we go to number 10. Who do you have at 10, Tadhg?
This team did not move for me for my power rankings.
Okay.
The San Francisco 49ers.
I have the Niners here as well.
Oh my, Caleb, we literally said yesterday there is absolutely no way that we could have the same top 10.
We have 2 out of 3 teams so far. Same. Well, okay, technically I have them at 19 because the way it formatted, I don't really want to spoil it in my list, but like the way
I don't need to see.
Okay. Like in my notes section, I hate going on my computer with the Zoom thing up. So I have it in my notes section this time. And the way it formatted, I put it like 1 through 10. And then whenever I would click on one and like fill it out and then click out the other, it would go down a number. So like 1 became 2. And then that just happened for all 10. So now I have 10 through 19.
Okay. Well, so hey, we don't have the same.
So we're technically not going to have the same list.
Yeah, 49ers. I mean, they looked good and then they fell apart, which was concerning. I mean, that's a real concern. You can't fall apart at the end of games. And I know we had a little bit of a debate on that in the last episode, but no matter where you land on the debate, you can't do that. And they did it. So they're not moving for me. Their defense looked worse than I thought. Their offense looked better than I thought. So a little bit of a combo evens out to about the same that I thought they would look.
Fair enough. Number 9, I have the Arizona Cardinals.
Okay, look at that. We're already different.
Okay.
I have a team jumping way up my list. And here's the thing. With these teams, I'm not afraid to move them so drastically after week 2. Like, it's like week 1 was so strange and so caught me so off guard that like some of these are probably going to fly out of here. But at number 9, I have the New Orleans Saints. Jameis Winston looked very good and their defense looked very good. I mean, I don't know what happened to the Packers, to be honest with you, but that was the scariest performance I've ever seen.
Easily. It was shockingly.
Aaron Rodgers would have had a higher completion or a passer rating if he had spiked every ball into the ground.
He's got the Nathan Peterman stat. Yeah.
Which is Aaron Rodgers,
Yeah.
who most people have as a top 10 quarterback ever. That was horrifying. So, but the Saints, to their credit, beat them by 5 touchdowns. So, like,
definitely.
They are number 9 for me.
I think I'm tired. Yeah, the Arizona Cardinals, I have at 9 here. I mean, it's just they dominated the Titans in every single aspect of the game.
Exactly, yeah.
Every position was just dominated on the field, especially offensive line. 38-13 was the final score. They won by 4 possessions, excuse me. And whenever you beat a team by 4 possessions, you might have to change some, or the other team might have to change something if they want to be respected. We both have the Titans pretty high in our rankings.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you.
I highly doubt you have them above 9. I sure as heck don't.
They were 9 for me in the power rankings, and boy, oh boy, did they not go higher than that. And we haven't named them yet. So
yeah. Sorry, Chase and Bryson, your team blows.
We need to see if they can turn it around, because
boy,
they need to.
Hopefully they can.
Yeah.
Number 8, who do you have?
I have the Ravens here.
Okay.
I understand they lost to the Raiders. I think they're a better football team than the Raiders are. I just think they got careless at the end of that game. They looked like they were in control for. All right, bye, Caleb. They looked like they were in control for a good portion of that game. But it turned out to be not the case. And I think Lamar is a superstar. I think their running backs are injured, which is, stop pointing at that sign. And I think that they're going to get back on track when they become a little bit more healthy and a little bit more coherent as a football team, because they've had to move around a lot of pieces just because of how everything has worked out with their injury concerns. Yeah. So I still think they're one of the better teams in the NFL.
For sure. I think they'll get back on track. They shouldn't have any problems. When you have a talent like Lamar at quarterback, I mean, you'll be fine at some points at some point in the regular season.
Yeah.
I have the Buffalo Bills here.
Okay.
They didn't look as good as we had both thought, I think. And the Steelers defense is a fantastic defense. It's a top 5 defense in football. It was last year. It is this year again.
Yeah.
Seeing Josh Allen struggle a little bit more made me worried about the Bills.
I think that's fair.
I'm nervous that he might be kind of going back towards his year 1, year 2 Josh Allen.
Well, I don't think he had a interception.
He didn't, but I think we all had high expectations for him. I do need to see more of him, obviously. I mean, he was fantastic last year, and I don't think that's gone. I just think he had an off game.
I mean, he didn't 270 yards and a touchdown, no picks.
Yeah,
which it wasn't a great game by any means, but I don't think. I mean, he was playing one of the best defenses in the league. Yeah. So I
expect that team to get more than 16 points.
Yeah.
Or 13 points, whatever they had.
I agree. And I have the Bills at 7, just to hop into the next one. Okay. So right above you. I'm not super worried. They're still better than the Steelers. I know they lost. Sounds contradictory, but like, if you watch football, you know that sometimes the better team loses. Their defense looked really good to me, and we're stopping the Steelers offense. So if the offense can figure it out, then they're going to be really scary, because their defense looks better than it did last year. And I think their offense will figure it out. I think they'll get it done, and I think they'll move on and be a little bit better in the following weeks. Who do you have at 7?
At 7, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers. I moved them up all the way here. And here's why. Week 1 is weird sometimes. I have no problem moving them back down if they don't do well next week. I have no problem moving them back down week 3.
We do not have the same list, because I don't even have the Steelers.
I figured you wouldn't. And I wanted to kind of put him here for a couple reasons. But The main reason is I mean I don't have any problem moving them back down next week if they don't do well. Thing is, the Steelers defense looked dominant, and the Steelers offense looked pretty not great for about 2.5 quarters. And then they turned it on in the fourth quarter. If they can play like how they did in the fourth quarter for 4 quarters, that's a tough team to beat.
What did they do in the fourth quarter?
They scored 17 points.
Yeah, but who scored that? Because Big Ben only had one passing touchdown.
I know James Washington got one. I don't know what the other one was.
Well, James Washington got one, what, like a rushing touchdown?
No, passing.
Well, wouldn't that
Or Deontay Johnson, sorry. Not James
Yeah,
Washington.
so wouldn't that just be the same then as the one? So where did oh wait, and then the other one, and then the 3 points would obviously be a field goal. So it's probably a rushing touchdown, but I don't think it was Najee.
It wasn't Najee. My thing is they beat the Bills. So technically they are better than the Bills right now.
Well, that's not, I don't agree with that at all. Do you have the Raiders above the Ravens? Like, you can't, that rule has to be consistent all the way around if that's your reasoning.
No, I don't have the Raiders above the Ravens.
Yeah.
But the Bills looked worse than I thought. The Steelers looked better than I thought. And my only hangup was about the Steelers offense coming into the season. I knew they were going to be a good team, or a good defense. Excuse me. I knew their defense was going to be. Why do I have this window? Can I get this out of here? What is this? Thank you. I knew their defense was going to be dominant, and it's the reason why they went 12-4 last year. It's definitely not because of their offense. I am looking.
I can't see where they had a touchdown.
Okay, I'm just gonna go to this website then because I know this will.
All I'm seeing is Big Ben with 1 touchdown and no rushing touchdown. Did they score a defensive touchdown?
They might have.
Was there a fumble? 6?
Let's see. Well, they put up 23. But yeah, my thing is I have 0 problems putting them back down if they don't do well.
There was a fumble.
Field goal, touchdown.
There was a fumble by the Bills. Bills fumbled 1 time.
So
there was no kick.
Field goal, touchdown. It goes from I'm going on the scoring plays here on NFL.com. It has the Pittsburgh Steelers scoring a touchdown to go up 13-10. Then the Bills kick a field goal to make it 20-13 Steelers. So there's just a random touchdown that happened that's not accounted for, which makes me think it's a defensive touchdown.
It's probably that fumble.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't think of anything else.
Yeah.
Insane. Oh, a blocked punt is what it was, I think.
There you go. Steelers, good on you. I have you at 7. You probably won't stay there that's probably the highest you'll be all season. But for now, that's where you are.
I think you're so limited when your offense is this at the skill level that the Steelers is, especially in this day and age. Defense doesn't really win championships anymore. We're at the point where we're a little past that. Defense, really, you need a good defense, but offense is more important than defense. So yeah, who's number 6 for you?
The New Orleans Saints.
Oh, wow. So you are really high on them.
We were really high on the Packers.
That's true.
The Saints beat them by 35.
But I can't help but think there's a little bit of we were just way wrong on the Packers more than we were.
Here's
I have the Cardinals. I have the Cardinals at 6 because I know you've already had them named.
Okay. And
they played the Titans, who we also had as a really good team. But their win was just more convincing because granted, I just could be disrespecting the Saints, but it just seemed off. Like, it just seemed it seemed like a week one strange thing when the Cardinals win seemed like, oh, that's just how they're going to be all season. Because their defense dominated the Titans offense. And the Titans offense is the only reason we had them in the top 10.
Sure.
When their defense, we both said, was going to be trash this year. The fact that they were in our top 10 list means that we were really high on the offense. The Cardinals defense was what I was worried about going into the season, and they locked up the Titans offense, which was like, what is happening? And then their offense looked amazing, which we figured it would.
Yeah. Here's why I disagree with you here on the Saints win being more convincing. It was a 35-point victory against a team we had at worst going to the NFC Championship game. You had them in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
We knew they were a well-rounded team with one of the best offenses in the league and a decent defense. The Saints shut them down to 3 points. The NFL MVP of last year to 3 points. Didn't score a touchdown. It was the worst loss of Aaron Rodgers' career.
I mean, here's the
defense
thing.
Did nothing.
I honestly, there's a lot of talk about what's going on and why the game happened the way it did. Like, is Aaron Rodgers throwing the season away? Is like, there's a lot of speculation, and that's why it's not convincing, because there's people talking about whether the quarterback is throwing the season away. How often have you heard that even debated?
I haven't.
Exactly. Which is like why this is such an anomaly.
Happens.
Yeah, and that's why this win was so strange to me, because people are debating whether the Packers star QB is literally pulling up the longest yard.
Yeah,
like it's insane, and the Saints are in my top 10. I'm 3 spots behind you, so it's not like they're out of my top 10. The Cardinals were a much more convincing team to me. And I think that's because I was higher on them to start the season than I was the Saints. I could be way wrong. The Saints could just be the real deal, and we both way lowballed them this season.
Yeah.
But the Cardinals win was just convincing, and the Saints win was confusing.
Yeah.
Oh, quote me on that.
Okay.
That's a baller quote. That's a baller quote right there.
Yeah, that needs to be in Night Hoops, genuinely. My thing with
Trent Dawson.
Was that his name?
Yeah.
Trent Dawson.
Yeah.
Oh no. We're going to our top 5 here. This is exciting. I like our top 5.
I mean, I'm confident with my top 5, I was confident.
I'm pretty confident in my top 5 here. Number 5 is the only 0-1 team in my top 5.
Cleveland, baby.
It's the Cleveland Browns.
I mean, they looked good. Let's be honest.
They had a 2-possession lead in the fourth quarter.
Baker Mayfield. Okay. First of all, Colin Cowherd, I know you don't listen to us, but F you, dude. Okay. He looked for every opportunity to trash on Baker Mayfield. And it's like, it's just so like every person, because I look at all of his, every tweet that he tweets comes up, like every Instagram or every YouTube comment. Like, I go through all that because I'm like watching him every day. And obviously I love Colin more than most people do, just because, I mean, he's my favorite analyst, and he's the analyst I watch every single day. But dude, you need to just stop, like, hop off of Baker Mayfield. Like, it's okay that you were wrong that he's worse than Sam Darnold. It's okay that you were wrong in your prediction. Just move on. Every mistake you don't have to emphasize, dude. Baker Mayfield was trying to throw the ball away. His pocket collapsed. He got tackled. He just didn't, like, every quarterback would have done what Baker did in that situation. The problem is Baker was just getting hit as he did it, so the ball didn't reach out of bounds. And so that was the pick, which was unfortunate. But, like, just because they lost to Mahomes and the Chiefs doesn't mean Baker is not the guy. Baker literally had them in a position to win that game. He's good enough, and he's more than good enough to just be the quarterback of a good team. Like, he's leading that Browns offense. He had over 300 yards, one pick, no touchdowns, but got them within like the 10-yard line for all of their touchdowns. I don't know. It's just annoying to see Colin do that, but it is good to see every other person in America telling him he was wrong.
I mean, he is wrong. Baker showed that last season wasn't necessarily a fluke. He did really well against the Chiefs defense here and pretty much kept them within. I mean, they had a lead for 3.5 quarters. The Browns punter just kind of sold.
Oh my gosh.
Like here's the thing. I'm not saying the Chiefs wouldn't have scored a touchdown because you can't really ever say that.
No.
So I am saying that it's harder to score from your own 20 than it is from the opponent's 20.
Hot take there.
Yeah, hot take. That is fresh out of the oven right there. No, the Browns are going to be a good team. They're the second best team in the AFC right now, and my rankings show that.
I agree. I agree with you.
The Seahawks are my number 4.
The Seahawks are my number 4.
I kind of figured our top 5 would be the same, honestly.
Me too.
But
Seattle looked awesome. Their defense actually looked really good. And their offense looked amazing, as it was predicted to. Russell, Colin, I'm going to shout you out again. What Colin said, I think it was 2 days ago, was the perfect description of these two teams. It was talking about the Seahawks and the Packers. With both those teams, this offseason was filled with crazy news, headlines. Russell Wilson wants out. Aaron Rodgers wants out. Like, they want more talking. They want more say in what goes on in the leadership, like all that stuff. And Russell Wilson handled it like an adult. Aaron Rodgers, sadly, did not.
Correct.
And that's always been the knock on Rodgers, is that he's hard to work with. He's needy. He's all this stuff that you really don't want your quarterback to be.
I know.
And Russell Wilson is not that stuff. Russell Wilson just wants to win football games, and that's where he's coming from. And Russell Wilson went out there and had an incredible day, and Rodgers had the worst game of his life. Both of them
literally the worst game of his
career. Both of them having noisy off seasons. And Colin Coward said, when things get tough, you become more of who you are.
Correct.
If you're a jerk, you become more of a jerk. If you're compassionate, you become more compassionate. This was a key. This was a very big, like, apparently Russell Wilson came into training camp, as said by Seahawks coaches, the best he's ever looked.
That's awesome.
Aaron Rodgers didn't come into training camp.
Correct.
That is just, again, echoing this very belief. Like, wow, Russell Wilson. I love Russell Wilson as like a person.
We've always been fans of Russ.
Yeah, when we disrespect him, it's only strictly because he so consistently falls apart in the second half of the year.
It's the narrative at this point.
It's literally the narrative, but I'm rooting for him like always.
I am too.
He's an awesome dude.
Yeah, I mean, he gave me a high five. So, like, I mean, it's
okay. Really, so you should be on the Seahawks.
I basically am the 12th man. Like, the 12th man is like, oh, it's the whole family.
Jersey.
No, I am the 12th man.
That jersey is your jersey.
Yeah,
hanging in the rafters. Exactly. I mean, like, that physical jersey in the rafters.
Yeah, I wore it's super big, but like I wear it sometimes. Number 3, I have, unfortunately, as of right now, the better team in LA, the Los Angeles Rams at 3.
I do not have them at 3.
If you have the Bucks at 3,
I do have the Bucks at 3. I knew you weren't gonna do it.
Of course, I'm not gonna do it.
Here's the thing: the Bucks defense did not look spectacular against the Cowboys, and their offense had 4 turnovers. The Rams, on the other hand, we can just talk about both of them because obviously those are 3 and 2. Do you have the Bucks at 2, right? Or do you have the Bucks at 1? Why?
We'll talk about it. Let's talk about the Rams.
Okay, let's talk about the Rams. The Rams. Wait, why do we have to talk? We can also talk about the Bucks here because they're at 3 for me.
Oh, I guess so. Yeah.
The Rams, to me, looked great on offense because, I mean, dude, they have Matt Stafford now who gives them that huge deep threat option.
And thank God for Matt Stafford getting the dodge out of Detroit and just.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah. Balling out in week 1.
Yeah, Rams offense looked really good against a Bears defense who isn't like spectacular, but they're like above average defensively.
The Bears?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Rams were all over them.
Yeah.
And then you add on the Rams defense looking spectacular.
Shock.
Yeah. You add that on. Now they looked better week 1 than the Buccaneers did. And the Bucs played the Cowboys, who I'm not going to say are a worse team than the Bears, but it's not far apart either way.
I think the Cowboys are better, but like you said, I don't think it's by a significant enough margin.
Yeah. And the Cowboys defense should be a lot worse than it looked. And I think that was the Bucs making them look a little bit better than they are. And the Bucs
put up 31 points.
What? Yeah. Okay. Not bad, but they had 4 turnovers, is what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, you can't give the Cowboys the ball 4 times.
No.
Like that, yeah. They're not going to win most games if the team is good.
No, and here's the thing: Tom Brady is he's gonna throw a decent amount of picks, and I as many touchdowns as he throws, if it's 45 again this year. They had 2 turnovers, 2 fumbles, sorry, and or no, 1 fumble, 3 picks. That's what it was. One of those picks was a Hail Mary.
I think it was 2 fumbles, 2 picks. Was it? Yeah.
Okay. Well, Tom Brady, one of the picks was a Hail Mary at the end of the half.
That almost got returned.
And then you had a couple fumbles and another pick from Tom Brady. But my thing is that the Bucs are a Super Bowl defending champion, and with a potentially top 5 defense and a potentially top 5 offense. When you mix those 2 things, and I know the Rams are too.
I was about to say the Rams
I know the Rams are too. They definitely have a top 5 defense. And they look like a top 5 offense. I'm going to say they had a top 5 offense week 1. But I just, again, it's one of those things where it's a new group, especially at quarterback. And it's not really a new group except for your quarterback. But I lost my train of thought. But I just need to see that offense do well week by week by week until I can make a fair assessment on them. This is week 1, so we kind of have to assume a lot of things, right?
Exactly.
And that's why I have the Buccaneers at 1, is because they are the most complete
at 1
in the league.
To an extent, yeah. But I just think the Chiefs are better. Like, I know the Chiefs have a worse defense. But like the Browns, first of all, talking about the Chiefs-Browns game, the Browns offense is going to be good this year.
Yeah.
And the Chiefs defense looked fairly okay against the Browns offense, like able in the second half to stop them on a few drives.
Yeah.
Which is what situationally, it's more important to be a good defense. And situationally, they were a good defense. They gave up a lot of points early, but they turned it around in the second half. Can't say the same for the 49ers.
No.
But the Chiefs offense is literally in every game, always. The Bucs, I don't know. Their play, I didn't think they played particularly well.
I don't think they played to the best of their that they can. But when I look at a complete team and a consistent team that has done it before, the Buccaneers are the prime example of having a great offense, a great defense, and be like showing us that they have been able to dominate before.
Yeah, I just don't like that, their pass defense just looked really bad against the Cowboys.
It did. And here's the thing. Dak Prescott is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I'm going to chalk that up to him just having a fantastic performance, and no discredit to Dak. Good on the Cowboys coaches as well. The Buccaneers had a corner go down in the league or early in the game, and they kept going back to that side where that his replacement was in. Major credit to Dak. I mean, here's the thing.
Yeah.
The Buccaneers got to Dak. They got to him. The pass rush was pretty decent, but Dak was getting the ball out quickly. And when you can when you can eliminate the pass rush that way, That's just fantastic game planning. And just an overall good job by Dak Prescott. We all know he's good. I don't think we thought he was going to do as well as he actually did week 1 against the Buccaneers defense. So there would just have to, the Buccaneers, I think, would have had to, and they almost did. The Buccaneers would have had to lose this game for me in order if for me to not put them 1.
Okay. I mean, I guess if that's your requirement, then yeah, there's no point in even discussing anymore. Bucks are at 3 for me, only because I knew you were going to put I just think it's fun to have a new team join the top 2, because it's always the Bucks and the Chiefs.
Sure.
And the Rams look better than the Bucks this week.
Correct.
And a lot of these top 10s are strictly based off this week. Like the Saints being in here, Denver being an honorable mention for me. Like it's just a lot of it's based off week
the Steelers,
1.
yeah.
And that's all that we have to go off of for the season. And for week 1, Rams look better than the Bucks, but the Chiefs look the best out of any team to me. Just strictly against another top 5 team. They're the only one of these that played a top 5 team, and they won. And their offense looked awesome, and their defense at the end of the game did what it had to do to win the game.
Yeah. There you go. That's our top 10.
Look at that.
And comment below what your top 10 is. We'd love to see. Or even just like a top 5. Just give me your top 5 teams in the league right now. Give me your top 10. Give me your top 32. I don't care. Just comment below. We got about 6 minutes left here. We were gonna do some. I forgot how long this takes. Genuinely, doing the top 10s.
What did we have planned? I forget, honestly.
Oh shoot! I think no. It was just the It was the team of the week thing.
Yeah.
So I think
I have something if you want to react to something.
I would love to.
But what were you gonna say?
No, I was literally just gonna say I think we should go back to the
good old
age-old adage of going on.
All right, so this
Instagram
is gonna make you mad because it makes me mad.
Okay.
How each 1 p.m. team looked today.
Ooh, the Chargers are in here. Okay.
So we have the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Okay.
The good. Cardinals.
Yep.
Bengals.
Okay.
Eagles. Houston.
Yeah.
And Seattle. I'd say those are all true.
So you're telling me the Chargers are either bad or ugly? No.
The bad is the Chargers.
No.
The Panthers. The
Vikings.
Vikings.
No.
The Vikings. Sure.
Yeah.
The Steelers. The Washington football team. The Lions. And the Niners.
Dude, half the teams in the bed should not be there.
Yeah. The ugly.
That's dumb. I'm sorry. That's dumb.
The Titans, yes. The Jets, sure. Falcons, yes. Jags, yes. Bills, sure. Colts, sure.
Can we go back?
Just the first 2. Chargers and Panthers literally both won their games.
So are the Steelers.
So do the Niners.
Okay, but I kind of sure. That's fine.
And how about NFL?
Bad, if bad is converting 14 of 19 third downs and not letting the opponent score after the 11:30 mark in the third quarter, I don't want to be good. Oh no, that's bad. Cool. Someone who made this is probably a Washington fan or something. I don't know. But whoever made that is just sad. Genuinely, you are sad. I'm sorry to say it. The Chargers are good.
Some NFL awards.
Okay.
Best team of week 1. Guess.
Best team.
They just have best team.
Chiefs.
Yeah. At least you're aware. Best offense.
That's tough. I don't want to say the Saints. It just kind of wasn't. Cardinals?
Seahawks.
Oh yeah, Seahawks.
Best defense.
Cardinals.
Panthers. Major respect. Okay. Dude, I saw a stat that said we were
they allowed 14 points. Sure.
They were first or second in like every stat. They were like top 5 in like every defensive stat of week 1 of any team, like pass deflections, sacks, like everything.
Not all of us can play the Jets week 1. Okay.
Well, we did. Okay. I'm not going to fault us for winning.
I would.
Best player.
I would take a win and just, what'd you say? What was the category?
Best player.
Best player? Chandler Jones.
Yeah. Best game.
Browns, Chiefs. Ravens, Raiders.
Yeah.
I didn't know if this was Monday too.
Biggest upset.
Saints over the Packers.
Yeah. Best coaching. I'll kind of respect this one.
I mean, I could be biased and say Chargers, but
No.
Best coaching. Honestly,
why would you say Chargers?
Because we would have lost that game under Anthony Lynn. I'm gonna go Cowboys here.
Why
I know they lost.
Cowboys.
I know they lost.
I want to know why the Cowboys. Not even because they lost.
Here's
why?
The thing. They were very close to beating the defending Super Bowl champions. Dak looked good. I think they put together an amazing game plan for the Buccaneers defense, just to let Dak kind of do his thing. Like I said before, get the ball out quick, kind of eliminate that pass rush factor. Yeah.
No, it's the Detroit Lions. I kind of like.
No.
Why?
Why the Detroit Lions?
I mean, dude, to come back within the last 2 minutes, you're down like 3 possessions, and then you're within 1 play of winning the game.
Why is that coaching?
You got to have good play calls to get down the field that quickly.
So does every team, though.
I mean, they're not in the drastic situation of coming. It's like, I mean, wouldn't you say it's great coaching when teams have a comeback in the second half? Like adjustments.
Sure.
Fourth quarter adjustments. They adjusted in the last 2 minutes and almost won the game.
I put the Browns or something before I put the Lions.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think it's fun. Breakout player.
Breakout player.
This is the last award.
Breakout player. Rashawn Slater. Let's go, baby.
No.
Who was it?
Jalen Hurts.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Well, we tied this week in fantasy. That's fun.
Well, no, we lost. I lost. There's an update. George Kittle got 2 more points.
It's not true.
Why would I lie about me
Okay,
losing?
if you are genuinely saying that I beat you, I don't even have. Do I even have George Kittle on my team?
What?
Tadhg, what would you gain genuinely?
Holy
Holy crap! There was an update.
I know.
I'm 1-0.
Yeah.
When were you going to tell me this?
I thought you would have seen it.
I was already just so sad about the tie and the potential loss. Well, that's kind of crazy, I guess. Sweet. That's at least for me, that's a good way to end the
Thank you, George Kittle.
I'm happy. Wow. Yeah.
Thankful.
Thank you guys for listening. It doesn't matter that I lost in all other of my. I'm 1-3,
and I won in all my other leagues. So.
But here's the thing: I'd rather go completely defeated in all those and just win this one because we have $50 invested in this one. Winner gets.
I have 50. I have 50 in another league, so I'm okay that I'm like 6-1 in all my fantasy leagues.
Yeah. Either way you look at it, I think we both came out winners. Thank you guys so much for listening. Please, if you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and like the video, comment.
Please subscribe.
Subscribe is the most important thing you can do.
Share with your pals.
Please, we need to get What the Football around to as many people as possible because we are a fantastic football podcast. It's just the truth. And we're funny. I'm funny looking. Teague's just funny, so like it kind of balances itself out. We're fantastic. We're fantastic people, and you should be thanking yourself that you have the blessing of watching us on whatever screen you're on.
I will eat Clorox wipes if we get 100 subscribers.
We won't do that.
I will.
Okay. I will be hosting the show by myself from then on because Teague will die of whatever Clorox.
It kills 99.9% of viruses and bacteria. So, like, why would it kill me? Am I a 0.1?
It kills 100% of people who ingest them. I'll tell you that much.
I want to see the statistics on that.
Doesn't really matter. There's no show after us. But just to keep it short for the YouTube audience here.
Short.
An hour is short. These 2 minutes, man. They're making
all the difference.
That, they're clicking off. No, for real though, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Again, links will be down in the description for our Instagram, our obviously our YouTube. You're already on it. Our Twitter, our TikTok, everything under the sun that is what the football related.
Yes.
So I guess with that,
I love you guys.
This has been What the Football.
What the Football.
What the Football.
And there it is.